Listen to me. There's always another man. What's up, guys? It's Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer. Welcome back to my channel, where today we're going to take a look at some posts written by women who have joined the growing ranks of women, mostly who are older, but also plenty of younger women who are choosing to remain single by choice. Whether these women are widowed or divorced or never married, whether they have empty nests with grown children who are out of the house, or whether they decided never to have children. There are many, many women, and it's becoming more and more common to see women just choosing to live alone. And for many different reasons, it is a great thing. So let's check these posts out. But first, on every video on this channel, I take a moment to encourage all animal lovers out there. Please, please, please go to the website of your local animal rescue or shelter and see how easy it is to sign up to be a volunteer for a little bit of time every week, or to foster if you are someone who can take a dog for a few days, a few weeks, or a cat, or whatever. This is Ella, and she is a little project. She was one of 50 dogs seized in a hoarding case, and she was very traumatized by it. And today, just now, when I picked her up to get her on camera, she let me pick her up. And that's the first time she didn't try and squirm away from me. So she's making improvements, huh? She's a good girl. Anyway, if you love animals, please consider doing your little part to help save the world and foster or volunteer on site at your local animal shelter or rescue. Do it for the animals. Okay, so unsurprisingly, the first post is from the subreddit Single and Happy, and it is by user Wide Specialist 1480. I feel like I've truly come to the realization that I will always be happiest as a single woman. No one I've dated has been able to compete with the level of care, compassion, and interest I've given myself. Yes, that I can relate to, certainly. But that can only happen if you love and appreciate yourself. So you gotta fill your own cup before you can be with someone else and fill theirs. After taking some time to travel and reflect, I realized how much more liberated and peaceful I feel not worrying about trying to maintain relationships with men, where these relationships were going, and the constant disappointment of not having even the most basic of expectations met. Yes, I don't know why. It's interesting that she put it that way, because that unfortunately is the experience of so many straight women, that men these days just don't care. And really, like, why should they? You know, you can have sex and have kids without even getting married. You don't have to be married, and you don't have to have kids to have sex. So I guess it's like a free for all. But yes, even though it's been a few years since I've been on the dating apps, it was definitely a huge difference in like 2020 compared to like 2024. Okay, she goes on. My time is so precious, and I foolishly wasted it on people who simply didn't care enough to return any courtesy or respect. Yeah, most girls do that. You gotta earn your stripes. You know, you gotta get kicked around and get your heart broken and made to feel like shit because the guy that you're crushing on acts, cold toward you. Ugh, I'm so glad I'm not bothering anymore. The love I was looking for all along was always within myself. I also now have a greater value for platonic relationships with mutual care and consistent effort. I want to say that's true for me too, because I broke up with my last relationship was like, if there was the one, that guy would probably have been the one. Like, I could have seen myself staying with him. And until the mask slipped a little bit. So I have no regrets breaking up. But I do notice now my girlfriends, even my platonic male friends, that now that I don't have a boyfriend to tend to to make sure his needs are met, to tend to his ego's needs and all that bullshit. I do value my friendships more. I don't take them for granted as much. She goes on, it's funny how stepping out of the dating scene allows you to revisit yourself as a person, prioritize your own interests, and bring yourself back to a state of curiosity, gratitude, and whimsy for the world around you. Yeah, I mean, I love that she says whimsy, because I too, since my early 20s, I remember when the guy I was dating, when I had my first apartment that was mine, it was our apartment, and it's a long story, but he went, and I was very disappointed by him. And then I started like coming home from work in my cute little apartment with my cat, and it was so quiet and it smelled good, just like when I left it. And that was the first inkling I had that, oh, being single is great. And it is, because of the time we live in. Being a single woman from basically the Stone Age until mid 20th century, late 20th century, women could not be on their own. You had to go catch a husband, so you had someone to protect you, to pay the bills, to father your children, if that's what you want. She goes on, we are so much more than what we can provide for others. Being someone's mother, wife, or girlfriend will never compare to the title of just being yourself, a human being worthy of all the best life has to offer. Oh, that's so well written. That's really lovely. And that is sadly true. Look at any news story about any subject. If there's a woman involved, it will generally say a mother rather than her name. Like the fact that she has kids, even if it has nothing to do with the kids, we have to throw in the fact that she has kids. It's silly. And then once you are a mom, that's it. You're mom. You got to be steady and stable for your kids. Look at the fucking true crime out there. Look at the shit that happens to children because people who don't have any idea what to do or how to afford raising kids, they just don't care. I mean, it's shocking. Okay, so the comment on this one, Coffee C. This is truly awesome. The love you seek is within you. You can give yourself everything and even more than a relationship can, and that makes you powerful. Hell yeah, there is great power in a woman saying, you know what, I'd rather be alone than be spoken to in that tone of voice. I mean, that's basically what it came down to. When I think of it, my last relationship, I was weeks away from closing on a house, moving my entire life, including my horse, which cost thousands of dollars. I was going to move that 2,000 miles and then drive my car with my 2 dogs drugged in the back of it so they would sleep most of the way for like 20 hours to go be with this guy. And thank God the mask slipped. And it was tough to... it was embarrassing because it was the second time I had tried to buy a house with that guy. And the second time he just acted like an idiot and it fell through. But that's nothing. It doesn't matter if you're embarrassed. Choosing yourself is always the right choice. It didn't matter that I had to cancel all those plans. It didn't matter that I lost thousands of dollars in deposits that I couldn't get back. All that mattered is that I was suddenly single and I was relieved. I was so relieved that I wouldn't have to do all that move and live in that little house with that guy. And now I live in a little house that I bought by myself, my first house. So it may take a little bit longer, but it is so worth it to do things on your own. Okay, get off your fucking soapbox, Dev. Lisa on the Hill. The most depressing moments of my life were when I was with a man. Same girl, same. The pressure, the controlling, even with a good one. Yeah, totally. I'm not made for this. Yeah. I'm so glad that we can say that because From time immemorial, women have just been expected, and women have been told that because they are female, they are nurturing and they want to settle down and make a nest and have babies, and they want their whole life to be contained within the four walls of their home and be a homemaker. And I mean, even today, that is the message that girls get, that you need a boyfriend, you need a husband, you need, someone to be with. And it really is true. Some of us are just not made for that. And thank fuck we live in a place and time where that's fine. You can get on Reddit and say, fuck this, I'm not made to have kids or be married or be with a guy at all. And that's okay. Thank God we live in this time. But even today, of course, we know there are plenty of countries out there where women are not free to do as they wish. Okay, manufacturer, same. Even back when I thought I wanted marriage, I realized that I was the most stressed, anxious, angry, and depressed when dealing with men. But I felt the most peace when I was detached. Yeah, well, I mean, that's like the whole theory of Buddhism, right? You're suffering because you are attached to something. So if you're not attached to the idea of needing a man to complete you as a person, so you have your other half, as they call it, if you're detached from that idea, then being single is like you're just out in the world being you. Men get to do this all the time. Men have always been able to do this. You ever hear the term confirmed bachelor? It usually is referring to a closeted gay man these days, but a confirmed bachelor is and was, a guy who just didn't want to get married. He was a ladies' man. He was out having a good time. Well, now women are going to do the same. Thank you. Lisa on the Hill responded, I have friends and family, and I'm always here for them, even in dramas. But men, I just can't. They are exhausting. Indeed. Okay, moving on. This one is also from the Single and Happy sub. It's by user Forgive Me Forever. What moment did you realize being single and happy was the right decision for your lifestyle? For me, it was when I realized I was aromantic and child-free. So someone who's aromantic, they don't really ever feel romantically attracted to someone else. And that's kind of sad, but hey, be you, be you. If you don't have those feelings, you're not missing anything. They go on. I figured, why date if I don't want kids and I don't even desire romance? Romance is something I thought I wanted and needed. But when I discovered that women are happier being single and child-free, I saw the light. I've known so many unhappy couples my entire life. I've seen people desperately seeking relationships to fill a void. I've seen people stay with the wrong people just to avoid the shame and loneliness, quote unquote, of being single. That is nonsense. We are going to normalize being single is just one way of living life. Being married is one way of living life. Living with friends is one way of living life. Living in your mom's basement is one way of living life. And being single and living by yourself is also a valid way of living life for women. I was happy I never dated in high school or at any point since then. I realized dating just isn't for me since I don't desire romance and I can't imagine marrying anyone or having kids. I choose celibacy and being single to avoid pregnancy. And that is perfectly okay. That is so valid. This person sounds like they're fairly young. I mean, I was super boy crazy almost until I was 50. I just love lust and romance and the feel of new love, and it's addictive. So it would be pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Just take those feelings away. That's kind of how I feel now. I kind of feel aromantic in a way right now. Like I don't have that burning desire to find a new boyfriend and make out with someone and all of that stuff that is so important when you're young. whether you want kids or not, most young women want to get swept up in a romance. It's intoxicating. I mean, I'm such a dopamine junkie. That's basically was my whole dating life, was going from one romance to another. And when I got bored, next. Oh, okay. And being celibate to avoid pregnancy is 100% effective. And really, a lot of people hear about women like this and think, okay, so you don't want to marry a man, you don't want to date a man, you don't want to live with a man, but you don't want to have sex with a man? I mean, don't you want to meet someone you could be friends with benefits kind of situation? And no, that's not even worth it anymore. And you know what else? You can go online and you can buy a glorious little device that runs on batteries, and it can do things that no man on earth can or has ever done. So if you're not lonely and you don't feel desperate and you don't feel ashamed of being a single woman, have at it. Live your best life, sis. Jage Americana said, I get tired of buying into the propaganda that a romantic relationship would redeem me in some fundamental way. Oh, God, yeah, Hollywood, right? Every romantic comedy is, there's something wrong with this woman. She's restless, or she's this, that, or the other. And then she meets a guy, and then they hate each other at first, but then they fall in love and happily ever after. La 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 la. Roll the credits. That's not real. That is so not real. That made me feel so free, she goes on. Like, I don't even care if I have my first romantic partnership at age 50 or older anymore. That's also true. You're never too old for romance. Have you heard stories like about how nursing homes are like rampant with STDs? You are never too old for romance. There is no rush or timeline that I need to be on. That's a really, really great comment. And that is, like, it takes the pressure off. What is the big deal? Until recently, women had to have a partner because they couldn't have their own bank accounts. They couldn't get a job because you could be denied employment just for being female. You could be denied an apartment for being female. A single mom with kids? I mean, think of how single mothers are treated nowadays. Imagine what it was like in the 50s, So we romanticize the past, but if you really look at it, we're kind of romanticizing the fashion and the hair and the style and the decor and the simple way of life compared to the way we live now, because they didn't have all the friggin' electronics. But women didn't have rights. You couldn't have a bank account. You couldn't even get on the pill when it came out in 1960 without your husband's approval. Going to the doctor with you. You had to have a husband. You couldn't be a single woman and just walk into your doctor's office and say, hey, I want to get on the pill. Oh, okay, here's a prescription. I mean, how friggin' lucky are we to live in this time? I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but I just really hope that, younger women realize how important their life is when you're young. Don't throw it away for a guy or a baby. Those things can come later. There's always... Listen to me. There's always another man. So don't worry about it. Hales55 said, yeah, this is how I started to feel about it too. It's really so liberating. Totally. Jage Americana responded, no turning back. Leatherfold commented, this is so real, and it is freeing. I thought being in a relationship would boost my self-esteem or speak to me in some special, dignified way as part of society, but nah, I realized that perspective isn't actually mine. It's just what I've seen and heard from others, and I adopted it as truth because that's all I was familiar with. How true is that? How many women have found themselves at the altar getting married because of other people's expectations? Women and men, certainly. I mean, that is awful. I just heard a story yesterday. My bestie was telling me about her cousin who got married in this ridiculously outrageous, overpriced 450-person wedding. And a year later, they were divorced because they never should have been together. And everybody knew, and everybody told the groom, you can back out of this if you want. But people do what is expected of them for the most part, because it's hard to be the black sheep or to do the thing that's not expected. So society has basically drilled it into all our heads that, this is what you do. You go to school, you grow up, you get out of school, you get a job, you meet someone, you get married, you have kids, and that is, you're locked in, And even if you get divorced, of course, you're going to go looking for another husband. Most people do. But now, more and more, women are just deciding it ain't worth it. Jamaricana, I used to really believe that people in couples were innately better, like they had some secret wisdom or knowledge about being partnered that I lacked. Isn't that so bonkers? Yeah, that's really crazy. But that's how girls are taught. I remember when I was 16-ish, I felt incomplete without a boyfriend. I needed to have the right boyfriend to feel complete. And so stupid. Leatherfold responded, "It is. Woo, good riddance to that. So glad we are free." And Sad Peace said, "When the thought of coming home and a man being there and all that comes with that was extremely repulsive to me." Leaving nothing misunderstood. Repulsive. Yeah, I've gotten to that point too. I don't want to pick up after anybody. And I'm not saying that men don't do their share of housekeeping, because every guy I've been with has chipped in with cooking, cleaning, all of that. But you're still in each other's space. You're still, And I guess you get to a point in life where you just don't need to have a significant other. Or maybe it's a phase. I don't know. We'll see. All right, and finally, also from the Single and Happy subreddit, Puzzle-Headed Neck said, "Too happy alone." Ain't that the truth? Long-time lurker, first-time poster. Okay, so I don't know if I'm mentally ill or something, so please call me out, but I'm in love with myself. I like thinking about the temporal dimensions of me and doing things for her. I'm a 23-year-old female. Oh, bless your heart. Bless your smart, young little heart that you have figured this out at 23. Jeez. I had several partners of many genders through my life, and it's just not the same. I always ended up choosing myself. I do have friends, but lately, more and more, I care less about everyone. Sometimes I feel like a fucking psicopata. I don't even know I think it's Spanish, but somebody correct me. Because I genuinely don't care about others much. I'd like them to prosper and not to suffer, but I care less and less about being a part of it. I've committed to myself a bit more than a month ago with a ring and all of that. That's so cute, buying yourself a ring. I do know women who have bought the cheap cubic zirconia, gaudy wedding set and wear it when they go out so people will leave them alone. She goes on. "I'm not opening that dating door ever again. I'm not really telling others about it because I know they wouldn't get it anyway. Everyone either has a partner or craves one. I've got the best one, though." Anyone else having the best time of their lives? One might say I'm on a honeymoon. P.S. Intimacy is definitely part of it. Hand-holding. DS stuff? Is that dominant, submissive? I don't know. The dynamic is so much more authentic than with anyone I've been intimate with. That is precious. And at 23, go on and buy yourself a ring and make a big deal out of it. And I know that when I was in my first apartment that I lived in myself that I really loved, that was right after I had a breakup. And I was 23, and I started to have that feeling too, that, wow, I don't have to be with anyone. I can just be with myself. Okay, SVT Carrot 17. Honestly, this sounds so peaceful. Most people spend their lives looking for fulfillment in others, so finding it within yourself is actually a huge win. And I'm sure you all know, because you guys are brilliant. That doesn't mean like you don't have friends and you don't have social groups and you don't go out and do stuff with people. It just means that you are content as a whole person within yourself. And it is peaceful. Responsible zebra, you are not crazy, and I relate with what you are saying. Also, I want an engagement ring for myself. I do too. I totally want one. Puzzle headed neck. It was so nice to make it a ritual that was authentic to myself and me only. No compromises. One of the best days of my life. Thinking about it, the rest of the best days also involved I, me, and myself. Ersatz L, 100%. Usual wealth, 55. I'm the same level crazy as you. I have a kissing myself in the mirror ritual. Even my favorite is when I'm crying. I loudly and physically calm myself down until I'm calmed, and it works. I'm deleting this later, though. I don't know about the ring. What if one day you want to divorce yourself? Oh, I love this sub. That is just hilarious. Yeah, whatever works. Whatever works for you to be down with yourself and take shit from nobody. My mother told me a couple of years ago that when I was about 3, my dad, you know how you teach little kids to say stuff? She said my dad was teaching me to say, don't take no shit from no guys. So I did forget that for a while, but I remembered eventually. So thanks, Dad. And that's what I have for you today, guys. So let me know in the comments, are you one of these women who has just decided to bow out gracefully from the dating scene and are ecstatic to be by yourself and enjoying what you want to do? Do you know women who are like that? Do you just in general think that women are choosing to be single and avoid dating altogether now? I haven't been on dating apps in a million years, since before Tinder was the last time I was on a dating app. So I know it's changed drastically, tragically probably. But let me know what you think. And thank you to everyone who stops by to hear me talk shit on the internet. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.